Hey guys, this is Bruce with Brew Noah LLC back here again for another one. Thank you guys for coming in. All glory to God, all glory to you guys. But on this one, I want to jump right in because I'm pretty excited to talk about this one. I'm going to tell you guys something that probably you have either never heard or you have heard, but just never gave it as deep of a thought as what I'm about to give you. Okay, so I want to tell you this. The short answer: pain is a necessity. Pain, evil, and wickedness in this world is necessary for you to receive your blessings. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Because I can feel the energy from this video. Okay. So what that means, okay, is that basically the question that everyone asks, people always ask the same question is why does God allow suffering, and why does he allow all these this traumatic things happens to us? Why is there ruthless killing? Why do we get in pain? Why do we go through heartache? Why do we go through all these things, right? Well, for one, there's a side of good and evil, right? But let's dive in a little bit deeper than that. The honest answer, and God's beyond our comprehension, but I'm gonna give you what I feel, at least coming from my spirit. Okay, God doesn't want any of us to suffer. He doesn't want any of us to go through pain. He doesn't want any of us to go through trauma. With that being said, it's all required, and the reason why is because it's gonna make sense for you to stay with me. Each and every time you experience something that doesn't go the way you expect it to go, each and every time you experience pain, each and every time you experience suffering, each and every time you experience trauma, it is an opportunity of growth each and every time. I'm going to give you some examples of this, okay? Some real world examples that happen in our daily lives. Think of anyone that has ever achieved anything amazing in life. Anyone that has ever rose from the ashes, that has beat impossible odds, and they all have a very common story. Okay, usually let's look at money, because a lot of people out there value success from money perspective. So let's look at money. You take a lot of individuals that have made it and that are extremely wealthy, or that have created their own business, and things just thrive for them, right? And they're just achieving all this success. You ask them their stories, and you ask them about their journey in the beginning, and nearly all of them share a very similar story. Okay, so think about this. They all share a story of they're in the famous words of Taylor Swift, "You're starving until you're not." And what I mean by that is, majority of them go completely broke. Majority of them don't have a lot of success in the beginning. Majority of them are near failure or fail. Our majority of them, some people go homeless. Some people lose everything. You have stories of people living in their cars. You have stories of people that go deep, deep, deep into depression. They go into all kind of different states of awareness mentally, okay, and physically. But then something happens, right? They somehow overcome, and then everything happens for them. Everything happens in terms of their timing lines up, their blessings start to roll in. You have so many stories of people who were homeless who now live in mansions. You have so many people who have stories of losing, and now all of a sudden they win at everything. And I'm gonna tell you the connection of all this, okay? When you are going through things in life due to the wicked forces of this world, which are not the responsibilities of God, by the way, it strengthens you, okay? And by it strengthening you, it gives you an advantage in terms of eliminating your ego, okay? What it does is, you get to a certain point when you lose so much. They call it surrendering, but I'm gonna go deeper than to surrender. You get to a certain point to where life just beats you up so much, right? Because you're holding on, so you're holding on. You're trying any and everything to make it work. You're taking on 3 or 4 jobs. You're going through all these different things. You're trying all these different classes. There's so many different things you're trying, right? And you're just trying to just hold on, right? And then you reach a point to where you lose it all. And simply, you just don't care. And what happens is, as soon as you let go and just don't care and just free fall, And usually it's because us as humans, we hold on until the very end, until we just literally, until we can't anymore. The moment you don't care is the moment you become fearless. It's the moment where you just give in, you give up, and you just are okay with the results as they come. And the moment that happens, success happens. Okay? So, in other words, when we go through failures in life and when we go through heartache, pain, trauma, whatever it may be, as we go through it and we try to hold on to everything, we actually end up losing it all, right? And we go down this thing where we just think it just never gets in, and we think that it can't get any worse, and then it does, and we just keep going, we just keep free falling, keep free falling, keep free falling. But what happens is, when you get to the point where you just give up, you lose the ego. You eliminate the ego because you simply don't care. You free fall basically into God's arms. And then all of a sudden, everything happens out of nowhere. You become blessed. You get wealthy. You make all this money out of nowhere. You know, you go from being homeless to mansions. You go from struggling to not struggling, as Taylor would say, as I said earlier. You go from starving until you're not. Until you're eating and doing whatever it is you want to do. Now think about that on a deeper scale, okay? What if I told you that this world simply runs off of happiness, joy, and love? Okay? So in other words, I'm going to paint a picture for you, okay? Every negative emotion that you feel, any and every negative emotion you feel, heartache, pain, hatred, trauma, a negative comment about somebody, a negative comment about yourself, complaining, whining, just overall, just anything that you are saying or doing to yourself or saying about someone else that is just a negative thing. All right. Let me give you an example because we all know someone like this. Think of a very negative person that you know, whether it's at work or whether it's at home. Hopefully not at your home, but either way, wherever it's at, maybe your friend circle, and everyone knows this person. They're just like a negative Nancy. They're just so negative, right? And when they're in the room, they just zap the energy, and nobody wants to be around them, right? And then the stories they tell of them being negative, a lot of it's true. Basically, no matter what they do, no matter what they try, they just can't get ahead. Things just happen to them. You know, they just have a bunch of bad luck. You know, it's just, the stories are true about what they're saying, but the connection is, the honest connection that I don't think anyone has figured out yet, but luckily for you, you have, is that when we pray to God, or when we ask God for assistance, and whether you believe in God or not, whatever you believe in, God's not, so like if you pray to God and you said to God, hey God, I am in trouble here and I need a financial blessing, whatever it is. God doesn't outright just give you the financial blessing, but he gives you the situation or scenario to help you in terms of the financial blessing. But most importantly, what God, I feel as though, and again, beyond our comprehension, but what I feel as though what he looks for is strength, which is the reason why whenever we give up and we stop trying and we eliminate our egos, everything just flows and everything just happens, right? Think about the person that you know at work or in your circle or at home that they are, no matter what's going on, the world can be on fire outside, and they are extremely positive and loving no matter what. They somehow find humor and they find love into everything, regardless of how the scenario falls. Now also pay attention, what kind of life do they live? I'm willing to bet that that particular individual lives an amazing life, and everything and anything they could ever want just lines up perfectly. So what's the connection? The connection is strength. There is no strength or growth without some kind of conflict, without some kind of conflict or straining or some kind of adversity. There has to be some type of adversity to happen in order to gain strength. Real world examples of this. We'll go to working out, okay? You can work out all day long, but if you're not having a little tension or straining within whatever you're working out in, you don't gain the muscle, right? Let's look at day-to-day activities. You ever notice that when you're doing something, When you absolutely love what you're doing and when you're having fun doing what you're doing, it is easy, it's simple, it's fun, and typically you win at whatever it is you're doing. Now think about this. Think about the times when you're doing something, whether it's playing with your friends, a game, or just day-to-day activities, your job. Think about when you're not enjoying what you're doing, when you don't have a lot of love for what you're doing, or that your heart's just not in it. What happens? You fail. You lose. Think about whenever you're having a debate with somebody. I'm not going to say confrontation. I'm going to say a debate. Think about what happens in a debate when you are exchanging between someone else or when it's two individuals. What happens? You have two individuals that go at each other, but how do you determine who wins, right? Typically, it's the one that's in control of their emotions. The moment we lose control of our emotions is the moment we lose at life. Let's go deeper. Trauma's real. Trauma happens. And there are some horrible things that horrible people have done to humanity. The system we're in itself is a very traumatic experience in terms of the matrix, in terms of how it works, right? But let's talk about it, okay? These systems are designed to inflict stress, heartache, pain, for you to have fear, for you to be afraid. It's a system that is designed to inflict rage amongst individuals. It is a system designed to have individuals turn against each other. Everyone's tired, everyone's hurt, everyone's upset, right? And it's a system that is designed to keep everyone down. But think about this. The people that make it out of this system, what is the one thing that they have in common? They are extremely happy. They are very loving individuals. And usually they have a very dark sense of humor. Because the key is, you have to find love into everything. And then if we go deeper into this, the kingdom of heaven in terms of our heart, right? You have to have an unconditional love for everything. An unconditional love for everything. And when you have an unconditional love for everything, you are essentially free from the vices and the materialism of this world. You are free from socialism. You are free from trying to fit in. You are free from trying to get things. You are free from chasing. When you become free, you are free of everything, which means that even if the world is on fire around you, you're okay. Because no matter what's going on around you, you see the beauty in all of it. You see the happiness and joy of any and everything that is around you. You look at everything from a viewpoint of no judgment. You see everything as love. Even your enemies, as hard as that can be at times. And we all have those. And guess what happens to these individuals? God blesses them with so much wealth, so much prosperity, so much love. Any and everything that they want, God sends their way. But it makes sense, right? They say the highest form of intelligence in terms of emotional intelligence is someone that uses a lot of sarcasm. Now think of that. Why would that make sense? Well, a person that can take a very negative or nasty situation, even as to themselves, and turn that somehow into humor and love, is a person that is unstoppable. Because no matter what happens, they can't be broken. They're unbreakable. And if you're God, and you are if you're building a team of angels for heaven, you're seeking strength. We're taught to be fearless when you follow God. We're taught that all we need is God, and you have all the power from within. Demons and bullies have no power over you unless you give it to them. Let's go elementary for a little bit. What happens when you have a bully in school, right? They'll tell you, oh, just run away, Timmy, run away from that bully. What happens when you run from a bully? What happens when you fear a bully? The bully becomes stronger. The bully bullies more. The bully doesn't stop. But what happens the moment a person gets the courage to defend themselves and to stand up for themselves and others? What does that bully do? The bully panics. The bully backs away. The bully backs off. The bully's no longer a bully anymore. Demons are the same way. Demons hold on to your trauma. They hold on to your pain. They hold on to your heartache. They hold on to all your failures. They hold on to everything that you blame yourself for as to why your life isn't the way it is. But here's what nobody ever told you, and I want to tell you. If you pray to God for a better life, prosperity, wealth, whatever it may be, He sent you here. Any and everything happens for a reason. Demons, the whole purpose is to keep you down. And what you never was taught in school, what you never was taught by anything, even religion doesn't teach you this, is that the longer you emotionally are down, the longer you are emotionally down, the longer you are hurt, the longer you keep your trauma, the longer you keep your pain, the longer you keep your hate, the longer you keep negativity, the worse your life is. On a day-to-day basis in any and everything that you do. Which is why if you feel like for any reason, if you feel like you just can't get ahead, if you feel like you have the worst luck ever, if you feel like you just can't turn it around. I have millions of clients like this. And what I have taught them, the reason why you feel this way, the reason why these things are happening, is because you're holding on to pain. You're holding on to trauma. You're holding on to all your failures. You hold on to all the things you don't have. You have a lot of fear. You blame yourself for everything. And demons love that. They love it because it drains all of your energy, which means that when you go out on a day-to-day basis, you're failing. But I have good news. Your blessings, your keys to freedom, your keys to an amazing life is instant. And it happens the moment you shift who you are. And it starts with eliminating your ego. You have to eliminate your ego because your ego is not your friend. Your ego plays both sides. Your ego will play your side of friendly. It'll play the side of not so friendly. But it's the same thing. Your ego is what judges any and everything. And in order to be free and in order to view everything as unconditional love, you have to remove the ego, because right now is when you see a scenario and when you see a situation, you view it in terms of whether it's good or bad. When the honest answer is that no one's ever told you that nothing's just good or bad. It just is. Bad things do happen. Don't get me wrong. But it just is. And it's important that you protect your energy and you protect your space. Meaning that regardless of whether someone does something bad to you, you have to find love into that situation. You have to find love no matter what. Because what happens is the longer you stay in doubt, fear, regret, shame, pain, or hatefulness, the further you sink down and the more bad luck you have. And the reason why you're in the position you're in, and the reason why things are just not lining up, and the reason why you just can't win, the reason why you just can't get ahead. Do you see the connection? So instead, from this point on, what you're going to do, you're going to view everything from a position of love. You're no longer going to judge, and you're going to make light and love of every situation that you are in, and you will see within seconds, within minutes, within hours, your entire life, your entire reality will shift. If you can laugh through the pain, you can achieve anything. That is the honest truth of how our world works. And no one's ever told you this. But there's a direct connection. If any of you play competitive sports, the moment you try super hard, the moment you get in your head, the moment you have that little bit of fear or doubt, you can't win anything. You lose the game. You can't hit a shot. You can't catch a pass. You know, you're off. Your mentality's off. Your clutch factor's gone. You whatever you do, whatever you're trying, the moment you start to doubt yourself, the moment you have fear and regret or whatever it is, you lose. But what happens the moment you have no fear? In the moment you believe in yourself, in the moment you think that you're the best, what happens? You start winning instantly. The same is applied to our everyday life in every second, everything that we do. Literally, any and everything that we do. You have to be strong mentally. You have to believe in yourself. And just find light and love into everything. I don't care how traumatic it is. And I get it. There are some terrible things that people have done I get it. I understand. But in order to protect your energy, you cannot let those demons, you cannot let that negative energy control your life. You have to move on and find light and love into everything. So how do we do that? I got you. You ready? It starts with, first thing every morning, pray, okay? Meditate, read, and then I want you to do a gratitude journal. So at any time, if you start your day with those 4 things, you will have an amazing day every day. You will have no problems. Now, in terms of from day to day, like in terms of throughout the day, let's say you encounter a stressful situation and you're trying to make light of it, you're trying to do whatever. What you do is there's a couple things you do. You can step away to go meditate. So if that means going to the bathroom and taking 5 minutes to take some deep breaths and just meditating and finding love again, do that. Go outside, find love and beauty in this beautiful environment, which is easy if you just step outside. Find something and not just go into your phone and scroll. Listen, that's not the answer either. Unless you're scrolling on positive, loving content, you hurt your energy as well if you're scrolling on content that is negative, that is divisive, that is making you pick a decision. Like for example, if you're scrolling on politics, if you're scrolling on anything that gives you an emotional response in terms of rage or aggressiveness or hurtfulness or whatever it is, they're pulling you down with all this. Our world is complex, but it's also very simple. The answer is to always love. And by doing this, you remove your ego. You have to remove your ego. It's extremely important because your ego wants to judge what's good or bad. We're not put on this earth to judge what's good or bad. That's just not what we're here for. Yes, that's what you've been taught. That's what society has taught you. But the moment you go out here and you judge anybody for what they're doing, that is a negative, hurtful emotion that's dragging you down. So if you want to be a more positive person, stop judging everybody. It's not your place to determine what's good or bad. It is your place to just love unconditionally any and everything that you see, any and everything that you go through, and any and everything that you experience. And I promise you, in seconds, if you do what I tell you to do, pray, meditate, read, gratitude journal. Gratitude journal is very important because it reminds you of the things that you need to be grateful for. It incites all beautiful, amazing emotions in you to counter whatever it is you're feeling. Guys, try it. Just trust me on this. I want this video to be the reason why your lives change immediately, overnight, in seconds. I want to see in the comments. It's extremely important. Find love in everything and your life will be great. And guys, we help millions of people. If you need help with that, if you're going through trauma, pain, and you just have something in your head that you have a hard time overcoming, that is what we specialize in. BrewNoahLLC.com. BrewNoahLLC.com. Talk to my team, talk to me. We will help you guys because that is the key to life. You do this and your life becomes on autopilot of just amazing, beautiful things each and every day, every second, every minute, every hour. It becomes beautiful and it happens overnight. It's not a 2-week thing. It's not a 3-week thing. It's not any of that. It's simple. Trust us. BrewNoahLLC.com. We love you. God loves you. Thank you guys for your time.